Yo, what's going on, man? This is the BeBall Jones podcast. I am simply a basketball trainer with a basketball podcast. My goal is to present the game to you from a different angle, educate you with a unique perspective, and also change your mindset along the way. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast. I'm your host, BeBall Jones. There's your co-host, Nelson Haskin. Nelson, why is basketball the only sport where today's game and today's generation is worse off than it was before? We always hear how basketball in the 90s was a golden era. And for that reason, every generation after that's getting worse. They don't say that in football. They don't say it in baseball. They don't say it in hockey. Everybody's bigger, stronger, faster, and it's producing a better sport. Yes, the rules change, the odds change. I get that. Whatever. Cool. But for that reason, basketball is the only sport where we just keep getting worse. We're getting more athletic and more skilled, but we're worse off. Like, that doesn't add up to me, man. So can you please make sense to me of how basketball is the only sport? Man, it's not a couple sports that basketball top one. It's the only sport. Soccer, lacrosse, golf, tennis, whoever. Basketball is the only sport where we're getting worse as we go along and get older. Can you please explain that to me, sir?
I don't really have no explanation for it because I don't feel that way. That's such an old head. Like I hate throwing the old heads under the bus, But like that's such an old head sentiment that basketball was just way better in the '90s. Like I remember Draymond Green said something that I like. He was interviewing Kyle Kuzma on his podcast, and they were talking about it, the differences in eras and stuff. And he was like, "Are you old enough to have been on MySpace? Like, do you remember MySpace?" He's like, "Yeah, I remember MySpace." He's like, "Okay, would you rather have MySpace over Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the stuff we have now?" It was like, "Man, no." It was like, and that's kind of how I look at the game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what at the time, MySpace was great. I had a MySpace. All my friends had MySpace. It was great. Like, we loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not take that over what we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Like things have evolved and have changed, and they're better now, and that's okay to say. But
Mm-hmm.
people are so stuck on the MySpace that we had in the past, and so me personally, I think that a lot of it has to do with Michael Jordan and the Bulls and their dominance, and Mike made the game so popular that is like the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't realize Michael Jordan was like the world's introduction to basketball to a lot of people with the 92 Dream Team and everything lined up perfectly. The
Mm-hmm.
92 Dream Team happened, introduced the world to the best basketball players in the world. Michael Jordan's a superstar, all that great stuff. The world is introduced to the game of basketball in 1992. So I don't know if y'all know what happened after that, but Michael Jordan went on to win 3 championships, retired, came back, and won 3 more.
Mm-hmm.
So as people were being introduced to the game of basketball, Michael Jordan was the guy. And so that's the standard. Now everything is like that. Now the world looks at that with like rose-colored glasses. Like that was the standard. That is the golden era of basketball, as we quoted. So like I would have to say that was like that would be the main reason people are so stuck on the MySpace of the NBA. And I'm not trying to take away from that, but like Draymond said, he loved MySpace. At the time MySpace was around, it was great. I would not take it over Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy. And it's okay to say that. And so I would say that's like the main reason. Like a lot, you hear so many people say the game is worse off now than it is back then. Like that just seems like it's not a great reason, but that's probably the main reason why they say that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you said that. I like the MySpace thing. So I'm gonna go two different routes with that. So one, NBA is a business, right? It's a whole entire business.
Mhm.
So in what other business where if you're going backwards and you're producing out a worse product and you don't shut down, like that doesn't make sense to me. Nobody's taking the iPhone 6 over the 12, 13, 14, 15. 16. Nobody's doing nobody no one in the history has said, you know what? Let me keep my flip phone. The flip phone was such a great phone. I don't want an iPhone. Well, again, I'm gonna take that back. I kind of do want a flip phone. But nobody in there, the average person that wants to be involved in, society and everything that's going on says the phone is better. Now, preference is one thing, but its actual better quality of what it can produce for you is better. So there's nothing wrong with somebody saying, I prefer 90s basketball. We have YouTube for you. We have NBA Classic for you, NBA TV. That'll play you nonstop 90s basketball if that's what you prefer to watch. But guess what? We're iPhone 13 and 14 right now. So you're going to have to get along with the times and actually get along and realize this is a better product, bro. Like, this is higher quality basketball being played right here. The skill level is at an all-time high. And so what other business goes backwards for 30 years and is still out? That doesn't make sense. Like, name one business that has been going backwards for 30 years. I don't think you can. I honestly think you can. That high billions of dollars and they keep making more money. That does what? How are you millions? 30 years later, you're a worse business, but now you're billions. Make that make sense to me, sir and ma'am. Please do. And so that just doesn't register in me thinking about through that lens, like the entrepreneur mind kicking in right here, seeing it like that. So on that perspective right there, you're completely wrong. Because yes, business could have got better, but it's hard for business to get better without having good product go along with it. If I'm a great businessman with a terrible product, I can't have a 30-year run where I'm growing that heavy. That's impossible. That's just literally impossible. You the king scammer if you doing that junk, bro. Like, salute to you. Let me take some notes because that's brilliant. Whatever you did, let me take some notes because you're doing something right. So I don't get how basketball is getting worse 30 years later with higher quality players, better performances because your boys dropped 71 not too long ago. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just stupid to me. So I don't get how we're getting that high level of product, but the game's worse off. That doesn't add up to me. But then like you said, it's just the perfect storm. Um, like I said, Jordan come along and being an introduction of basketball for a lot of people. But I don't think a lot of people think about too is like the world changed, the entire world changed in the 90s because the internet became a whole thing too. Like the .com era was in the 90s. So that's where the golden era, everything was 90s. Like everything's supposed to be better in the 90s. Music was better in the 90s. Rap didn't change. Sports basketball was better in the 90s because that was the Jordan era. That's music wise, that was Pac, Biggie, Jay, Lauren Hill, Outkast, all them in the 90s. That's what the golden era was of music. Salute if that's what your Nas. If that's your perspective, cool. I'm not gonna knock you for it. But once again, music opened up to where everybody that's first exposure to what hip hop was for so many people. Like that's when hip hop exploded into where it really became a more mainstream thing. But guess what? We have people right now out rapping. An average rapper right now on a big label is out rapping quality and skill wise and out producing a hit rapper from the 90s. I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to sit here. That's not this ain't a music podcast, but I ain't trying to ruffle them feathers. I'm just ruffling basketball feathers right now. So
This basketball fellas.
just basketball feathers. I ain't trying to fight two fights in on one battle, man. So but the 90s introduced the internet. So the internet exposed people to a whole lot more. So everything we had, sitcoms, black entertainment, black sitcoms, all that stuff blew up. Music blew up. Sports blew up because of the internet. And so many people first introduction of music, of black music, of sports was whoever the focal point was. So Michael Jackson, the guy. Tiger Woods, the guy. uh, Jordan. That's the guy. Now, granted, these are still the guys to this day, but the entire game and entire community around that was elevated because of those people too. So it's not to say they weren't great. Of course, they were great. Not to take anything away from them, but they got a little extra gas being that the internet was the first thing that it blew up and exposed everybody to this thing. And so, right now, if you think about basketball, probably three people come to mind right now: basketball, LeBron, Steph, and KD. Just depend on your age and your area of where you're from, like small differences in that. And so, more than likely, you're into basketball through the prism of one of those three guys.
Mhm.
But nobody's sitting here saying that the game is worse off. Makes sense because we went from one person to now a handful of people being able to carry that torch because we all have access to a lot more. So the internet changed the game in totality because I sound like my brother when I said that, and just overall because it's just like you're able to have way more exposure to so much more stuff and the individual thing we're talking about, which is basketball right here because of the internet. So that's one thing I want to throw in too that people don't always factor in until like what happened to the growth and exposure of the golden era that was. So yeah, man, you can't have a business that keeps getting worse for 30 years and doesn't grow, and that makes sense, which doesn't. And people don't think about how Jordan was the first exposure to a lot of people, period. Like people didn't know about NBA, didn't know about basketball at all until internet plus Jordan plus Dream Team, Perfect Storm, boom. And so ever since then, bro, basketball's gotten worse somehow, some way. Once Jordan retired in '98, the game's gotten worse. So I don't know what we're gonna do, man.
Man, I don't know either, bro. Like, um, Charles Barkley was on the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and they asked him how he felt about the state of basketball today, and he was like, "I don't like it. I think it's bad basketball, and they don't play any defense, and they just jack up a bunch of threes." You know, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
like that was the basis of what he said. Like it's bad basketball. They don't play defense and they jack up a bunch of threes. And so this is my thing about that. Am I gonna sit here and say like this era just has great defense? No, I ain't gonna say that because there's definitely games I watch. I be like, okay, it ain't a whole lot of defense being played, and there's a lot of high scoring games. Like the average games now gonna end in 110s, 113s, might be some 120s. And then the average game when Chuck was playing was like ending in the 80s. Both teams gonna have 70, 80 points. So I would say to that, um, no, the defense ain't amazing. But if we being real, y'all defense wasn't all that amazing either. Y'all was allowed to hand check and guard with your hands, place hands on people just so they wouldn't blow by you. That's one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're not allowed to do that. That's a foul. Number two, let's not act like when Mike got in the league, he went cooking. Like his guys, y'all the time that was cooking just like guys in our time that cook. Like the same way guys, like y'all remember when Kevin Durant was in the post game press and they was like, oh, he was, they were talking about like the Clippers was locking him up basically. It was like, man, I'm Kevin Durant, man. You know who I am. Like, and the next game, bro, scored 40. Like, y'all don't think they were trying to guard, bro? The day
Mm-hmm.
before, literally the game before, y'all was talking about Pat Bev and the Clippers was locking up KD. The next time he played, he scored 40.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell you? The best effort on defense is not going to stop certain guys.
Mm-hmm.
Certain guys going to get off. And then we finna ruffle some 80s and 90s feathers right here. But let's think about the bad boys Pistons because that is like the pinnacle of defense, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Mike beat the bad boys. The bad boys was hurt or knocking people out the air, this and that. No layup rule. Oh my God, what a time in basketball, right? Isaiah Thomas and the rest of them on record saying we can't let Mike get in the air because once he get in the air, he unstoppable. Hit him before he get in the air. Don't
Mm-hmm.
let him up. No layups. So when Mike drove the lane, they was going basically they gonna foul him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Knock him out there. Don't let him get in the air because once he do, We can't do nothing about that. So I don't know what that sound like to y'all, but it sound like they came to a consensus agreement. Can't none of us in here guard Mike, so we gonna hack him.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing they did with Shaq in the
Mm-hmm.
2000s. Can't nobody in here guard Shaq, but Shaq can't shoot free throws, foul. So like that, that's our way out. Might
Yeah.
might get into that rim. Okay, bet. Since we can't keep him out the paint, foul him, send him to the line, make him earn it. So that sounds like they could not guard,
Mm-hmm.
and like y'all glorify that. Like y'all know who y'all is. Y'all know who y'all is.
It's funny you said that, bro. You glorify that you can't play defense. That's
That you
funny.
can't guard, and y'all talk about us not being able to guard,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all was knocking Mike out the air because once he get in the air, we can't do nothing about it. And then I gotta go back to my favorite Michael Jordan quote. Love Mike. No Mike. I know what Mike is and what he done, whatever. But I gotta go to my favorite quote about Michael Jordan from the great Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Boy, Spence said Mike was 6'6" with a 40-inch vertical, and y'all called him Jesus in basketball shoes. I'm 6'6" with a 40, and y'all think I'm unathletic. Ain't no there's not been a realer quote about Michael Jordan than that. Mike
Mm-hmm.
did all that he did. But we got to understand the game has changed. People have evolved. Guys got 40s. People can do what Mike can do. Now, everybody can't do what Mike could do skill wise and with the ball and stuff. Because, like, some of the stuff Mike did in the air was crazy. It was amazing. I ain't trying to take that away from Mike. And the
Mm-hmm.
dogs hit on people crazy. But let's not act like Mike has some otherworldly, like, athleticism. Because the athleticism Mike had back then, a lot of guys walking around with that now.
Mm-hmm.
They might not be able to do everything Mike can do, but y'all was knocking Mike out the air because y'all couldn't do nothing about it. So what would y'all do against a Donovan Mitchell or
Mm-hmm.
a shoe? We compare Mike to DeMar DeRozan a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what would
Kawhi.
y'all Kawhi? What would y'all do to guys like that? If because they jump just as high as Mike, just as athletic. I ain't gonna say they jump just as high as Mike because I ain't never seen them dunk on the free throw line and stuff. But they about just as athletic as Mike. Can get to the
Yeah.
rim just as good.
Mm-hmm.
So what would y'all do if Donovan Mitchell played in the '90s or the '80s, '90s? We knocking Donovan Mitchell out the air because right now Donovan Mitchell ain't considered a top 10 player. Like that's the real. But we don't play no defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that like y'all glorify defense in the wrong way. Y'all wasn't gonna let somebody score. We have to because you knock somebody out the air saying, "Oh, don't let them get a layup," and you knock them out the air. Now you talking about you got a flagrant one, and now they got two free throws and possession of the ball. Don't let it happen again because now you're ejected. And like I watched The Last Dance. They talked about it when about the Bad Boys Pistons, how they did Mike, and they said it was like back then there was no flagrant foul. It was like, all right, they knocked Mike out there. Get up, Mike. You got two free throws. Like, did y'all enjoy that, bro? Like, was that basketball? That's the defense y'all talking about. The great defense of y'all
Mm-hmm.
era was knocking Mike out there.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, man. Like, they glorify the wrong things, and because we are not allowed to hand check, we're not allowed to knock people out the air when they get open shots at the rim. Now all of a sudden we don't play no D. But y'all really was just hacking because y'all can't play defense. Y'all couldn't guard them. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe Charles Barkley need to come on our podcast. But from my angle, from my point of view, I don't understand how they could say we don't play defense when y'all main defense against the best guy in y'all league was knocking him out there. What we talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. Like to your point, you were saying how how Mike, like Spencer did what he said, he's basically athletically a equivalent of Mike. So if you really wanted to be non-biased here, there's probably one or two similar Michael Jordan athleticism types on every NBA team right now. Part of what made Jordan so special is because no one touched him athletic wise in the 90s. Like the closest comparison might have been Clyde Drexler. That might have been it, to be real with you. Like
Hmm.
like talent and skill wise, that's probably the only player in the league that I was just like, ooh, he's tough in the 90s. Then we had a couple guys, a couple, next generation, the Vince Carters and stuff, the Kobe's who were
Hmm.
similar. Maybe not all the way up there, but like Vince Carter athleticism with Kobe's skill probably combined to make Jordan. But we had people athletic wise that half of Jordan, skill wise that half of Jordan. That was made Jordan so great. He had both of them. But just athletically speaking, every team now has at least one or two, maybe even three of those guys that are Jordan to athleticism. And so, if athletically you could not stop Jordan in the 90s, when you were already Jordan could get into the paint when you were packing the paint already. So, it makes you think now with a floor has to be more spread out, you're going to stop somebody getting to the paint. That makes sense? So, the goal is to stop Jordan getting to the paint. You already have two bigs down there that are playing bully ball. He still finds ways to get into the paint and score. Oh, but we're going to stop a more spaced out defense right now. That doesn't add up, man. Like, how are you going to pack the paint and I'm still scoring, but now you space the floor out even more, and you're gonna stop me better now? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Or on the other hand of it, where um, the guys have more shooting now, we're way better shooters. So what you gonna pack the paint or you gonna stop the shooter? So please explain what the game plan should be now because I don't know. So break down where the laps. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that guys are just perfect and they're just out here, you know, it's just beautiful defense. I'm not saying that. I see lapses all the time. I'm not saying the other end too, where um it's just no excuse to not play defense. It's good and bad defense right now. Same thing it was in the 90s. But we can't sit here and just go across the board and say, oh man, there's no defense being played. Nah, it's just hard to play. That's it. It's really a lot harder to play. Decision making is a little bit tougher now because back in the day it was pack the paint or pack the paint. Versus now it's pack the paint or go out to the shooter. Every team had one guaranteed shooter. Every team had a Steve Kerr. My one job is to be Steve Kerr, shoot a three. And if he ain't doing his job, he on the bench. He get maybe 5 of those attempts. If Steve Kerr ain't feeling it, hey bro, it was nice seeing you. Holla at you next game. Cause you ain't getting it done. You getting. I remember, bro. I think about this as a kid, bro. If I'm playing that role, you get 5 opportunities to show the rest of your minutes. So you get 15 minutes or you get 25 minutes, depending on 5 possessions. That's crazy to think about. Now people getting Steve Kerr's game in 1 quarter. So
Hmm.
that's that's not a comparison at all, bro. So we have Steve Kerr's entire game in Steph Curry's first 5 minutes. So your whole game is my first 5 minutes. I ain't even the quarter. But I'm expected to guard Steph Curry the same way I guard Steve Curry. That's not gonna happen. That's not working. So I love Shaq. You can touch him up if you want to. You either finna get put on the island, you finna get embarrassed because I'm splashing in front of you, or I'm figuring out how to get around you. Or if you do play back, you got to figure out do I slide over and stop him, or do I go out to the shooter? Decision making, bro. I think decision making now is 10 times harder than it was in the 90s. 10 times harder.
Yeah.
That's I'm lowballing that, bro. I'm really lowballing 10 times. But like decision making now is crazy compared to how it was back then. Look, let's be serious, man. Stop playing around. All right. You didn't got too comfortable. You didn't got relaxed. You forgot that you still got people behind you chasing you right now. You still got people to catch up to. You think just because you won a championship or you had a pretty good game last time that you can relax now. We ain't gonna write none of that stuff. Your goal right now is to look at how you were yesterday. Look at the player you were last night. Figure out how to be better than that person. Right now is you versus you. Your goal right now is to make progress in the person that you were last night, person that you were yesterday. Be the person this week should be the person from last week. The person this month should be the person from last month. On the court and off the court. Personal development too. So right now, progress is the only goal. We ain't worried about what other people got going on. Focus on progress. It's you versus you. It's me versus me. So that right there is your mission. That's your goal. I don't care about who say the best in state is. I don't care about any of that. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. I don't care if you struggling to make the team. I don't care if you the last player they're looking at to make the team. We ain't worried about none of that. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. I don't care if you're the number one player in the nation. Could care less. Your goal right now is to be better than you were yesterday. So go ahead and get you one of these, because you need that reminder. Because you got too comfortable. That's the issue. You got too comfortable. This can't get you comfortable right here. So go ahead, get you a reminder. Get you like a flag hanging as a reminder. Say progress is on the goal.
Man, and not even that. Not only that, like everything, like I'm totally agree with everything you just said. But not only that, the 3-point line is farther back than it was in their time. So not only are guys shooting it better, the floor is more spaced out. So it's not like you just can tag this guy and get back to your man in the paint. Like, or it's not like somebody could roll, you could tag the roll and then get out to a shooter as fast as you used to. And like the floor is so spaced now. Y'all think we just be jacking threes? The threes be open half the time. I ain't saying we don't just be jacking threes sometimes, because it get out of hand. I ain't trying to say it ain't. I know basketball, so I know, you feel me. Guys get a little out of hand. Like they take some bad shots, and they choose threes over twos because they're worth more. But like the floor is way more space than y'all used to playing. The 3-point line literally farther from the goal. So now you're talking about guarding somebody farther away, helping somebody deeper, and having to recover farther to a shooter. And I remember this, man. I saw this on TikTok. There's a clip from the Last Dance, and Buddy had like recorded it, and he was like, "Man, the league better try to get rid of this footage or try to delete this footage, because I ain't gonna lie, this might look bad." I don't know if you remember, but there's a clip in the Last Dance of them like messing around in practice or whatever. Him and Steve Kerr and some other guys, or like Mike, Steve Kerr, and some other guys. They're shooting threes from like the timeline, where the timeline was. Excuse me.
Jason.
Man, messed up my point. They're shooting threes from like where the timeline is for them. And they're shooting threes like it's half court shots. They're like
Mm-hmm.
launching it. You know what I mean? And nobody's like really getting close. And then Mike makes one, and Mike's like this, and everybody like cheering and stuff. Everybody was like, "Oh my!" Like it wasn't even like, it wasn't like no crowd in it. It was just, they was like, "Oh, like he made
I
it."
remember that. Yeah.
From the timeline on a court where the 3-point line is closer to the goal than it is today. So that shot that he took is like a normal Steph Curry three, normal Damian Lillard three, normal shoot, or really a normal like Klay Thompson three. Like he ain't got to go to like the Stephs and the Danes where they shoot from the logo. Like Jordan Poole would shoot from there. Kevin Durant would shoot from there. And in game, y'all throwing it like it's super far. It make y'all look like y'all can't shoot. And I'm like, yo, like I didn't even think about it watching it, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching it like thinking, like it's Mike and them, it's just, I'm happy to be watching it. I ain't thinking about it from the perspective of like, well, how far are they shooting it from?
Mm-hmm.
They were shooting from the timeline like it was half court. Steph do that every game. Every game. Like it's a given. Like
Yeah.
what, and Dame and Steph shoot from way farther. They're shooting from the logo. And it's like when they do it, like it ain't like it's they do it and they heaving it. They ain't shooting from the logo, regular jumper. It's good.
Yeah.
And when you shoot it, you believe in it. It's like that shot going in.
If he missed, you surprised.
Exactly. And so that is just to show y'all like the difference. Like a guy playing in the 90s would never be thought of to be shooting that far. And y'all saying we just jacking up threes. They can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game is spread out now. That's the way the game is gone. Did y'all really think? Let me put it to you like this. We talk about the game evolving and evolution. Did y'all really think you was gonna pack it in all like every year, year after year? Y'all was just gonna keep packing it in, not giving up layups, not letting nobody get to the rim, and guys was just gonna, you feel me, keep trying. Like, yeah, man. Keep driving, kick the shooters. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
think they was gonna keep doing? No, bro. Now the four man can shoot. You got one less help defender. Now we gonna put him into action. Make sure you can't just sit still. You can't just help. You can't just step off and get back. Like, no, we moving. This offense was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody like glorifies the Warriors offense. If y'all think, if y'all think you can just put a good defending point guard on Steph Curry and that's enough, that's not what it's about. Who
Mm-hmm.
gonna chase Steph Curry around these screens? And then once he do get the ball, he coming off a ball screen. And it's like, who gonna chase him? Who gonna do all this extra movement? It's not just standing still and watching post ups and watching Mike come off a down. I mean, a flat screen like in the triangle offense. That's not what it is. You gonna have to move. You got to guard off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's like one of the bigger differences. You're not just packing it in, bro. I'm sorry. They're not forced to come in there. The way y'all was playing, pack line defense is made to force guys to shoot. The Warriors of today, like the teams of today, I ain't even just say the Warriors. The teams of today gonna look at that and be like, "Thank you. I needed this game."
Yeah.
It's just not what it is no more, man. The game has changed too much. Guys are better and more skilled than those days, and that proved it. Michael Jordan shooting threes from the timeline like they at half court, and the court was smaller, 3 point line closer. Steph and Dame and Clay and Jordan Poole, shoot, doggone. I I say doggone John Morant can shoot that far. Like it's nothing. Like it's a regular three for a lot of guys now. Braun can shoot from the logo. He not even considered a shooter. And it's like y'all think we don't play no defense.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't, man. I don't see how y'all see that.
Yeah. It's just interesting, man, because you said something that just made me. It's just interesting to think about because we can blame Shaq. We
Mm,
can blame Shaq for the games being played right now because, like you said, four men have to shoot now. I think we talked about this on the episode before
yeah.
where Dirk was like, "I got to go against him. Slide me to the four, bro. I'm good." KD said, "Who? Shaquille O'Neal at the five? Put me at the four. Then what are we talking about? Put me at the four. I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not finna deal with him. You see that? You want me? I'm looking like this. Shaq is this. For you two people, you see this, okay? if you listen on podcast, I'm sorry, but hop to the YouTube right here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. This is KG. Let me get a different color because I'm wearing black. This is KG. Okay. This is Shaq. This is not a fair comparison. I'm not gonna sit here and keep dealing with this. At some point, I'm gonna break this pencil because this is a lot more. Okay. So guess what? I'm not finna sit here and keep butting my head running to this wall the whole game. I'm not doing that. So guess what? I'm gonna step outside and go wider. Now, as a little guard, AI said, "Okay, I'm gonna do that jump." We watched AI and said, that don't look fun to keep hitting the ground like that." Give Arena said, "You guess what? I'm gonna put a little weight on me." Well, you 6'4", bro. You different. Lil guard said, "Okay, get a little floater, get a little midi." Steph Curry said, "Guess what, bro? I'm too small for all that. I'm way undersized. I'm gonna just pull from back here. Y'all catch me out here." That's okay, cool. Everybody watch Steph and was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea." Now everybody pulling from back here because I'm not finna go against Shaq. I'm not dealing with that. So y'all, Shaq can blame himself. If you're out the game now, blame himself. That's what we can say. You are the reason why we're not playing inside no more, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and go against 7'1", 300 pounds. Are you sick out your mind, bro? I am 5'10". I'm not dealing with that. What are we talking about, bro? Like, no. I'm gonna sit back here and shoot and then put 30 points up than trying to drive into the lane and deal with you the whole game. No. I saw Allen Iverson get beat up every game. Not doing that, bro. Respect
Not.
to him. Respect to him. KG saw everybody go against. He watched Rick Smits. Not dealing with that, bro. Mm-mm. Derek said, guess what? This jumper's pretty nice out here. And I don't have to get beat up every game. Staying out here, bro. So Shaq is part of that reason, and a big part of the equation to why the game is today. So whatever he likes and dislikes, he has a huge hand in this jump because nobody wanted to deal with him. Now, granted, there's not another Shaq. There never was another Shaq. There will never be another Shaq. But Shaq definitely changed the game because we're not dealing with 7 foot, 300 pounds no more. So the level of non-defense being existent is because of him, because nobody wants to sit here and pound inside. So we have to space out. So that pack line defense has to get a little less packed because we have to space out now for 7 footers shooting a lot more medias in that corner three now. To where Sheed was coming to the game. He at the 5 now. Oh shoot, I gotta step out and guard Sheed. Well, guess what, brother? Your 7 footer went from the block all out to 3 point line. So guess what now when I drive into the paint and my help is already at the 3 point line, I have a wide open layup. Thank you. So how are we not playing defense when the defense has moved out and expanded? So that pack line worked in the 90s because we didn't have shooters. We had 2 7 footers. But guess what, bro? My 7 footers moved out or they got smaller. So there is no pack line defense when you got shooters surrounding the court. So let's think a little. Let's think a little bit deeper when we're talking about they're not playing defense. They are playing. For one, it's a lot harder because the skill levels way higher. But number two, defense we're playing is just different because the skill level's higher. So let's just update our basketball IQ with the game, not just what the basketball IQ was in the 90s or the 2000s. I think that's the main issue a lot of people have. Not just no disrespect, but people don't add in those few little factors when talking about the game, and not just what the perspective of what they had and back in that day.
Man, you cannot be more right, man. Like I think this gonna be my last point. I'll probably think of something else, but um, just to give y'all a little stat to go along with what we've been saying, so y'all don't think we just this all opinionated. Of course, this is mostly our opinion, but like just so y'all know, we don't just be talking. There's only a couple teams in the running for like the best team ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the best like overall basketball team in NBA history. Of course, you got the 72-10 Bulls. Then you got throwing the 73-9 Warriors. But then they lost in championship. So let's say we don't throw them in there. Let's throw in the KD and them Warriors. Steph, Clay,
Mm-hmm.
KD, Iggy, 2018, 2017, 2018. We throw in them Warriors. Then we got throwing Showtime Lakers, the old 60s Celtics with Bill Russell. And then, they had a star lineup of Hall of Famers, all that good stuff. And then the three-peat Shaq and Kobe Lakers. So them probably the best teams you can name,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we was on the topic of Shaquille O'Neal, so let's go back to Shaq. So let's take the three-peat Lakers. Let's go 2000, 2001 Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many threes as a team they would make? The entire Lakers roster, let's say 2001, their entire team. Do you know how many threes they would make a game or average a game? Five. Averaging five threes a game, making five on 34% shooting. That was their average. Nowadays, Steph Curry make five threes in a game. It's like, yeah, Steph
That's what he
things.
does.
What he does. That's just a regular Steph game. Same thing for Damian Lillard. Same thing for Clay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's guys in the league now, they hit five threes, and it's like, oh, you feel me? He had a good game. Their team made five threes as a team 20 years ago. So then let me throw it. So then I just gave you a stat. Now let's talk about the Warriors. KD Warriors 2018. How many threes you think they average making a game? 13. 13. More than double what the three-peat Lakers would make as a team. The Warriors would make 13 threes a game on almost 40% shooting. All right.
Mm.
So not
Mm-hmm.
only did they make more than double the threes that the Lakers would make, they were shooting a better percentage, a great percentage. So this is my point. When a guy like Shaquille O'Neal gets on TV and says, "Yeah, if we had to play Steph and the Warriors, I would just tell my guards to send them to the paint and I'd touch them up and take and basically rattle them so he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
think he can come in the paint." This is what I say to that. Shaq, do you know that they wouldn't let you sit in the paint? Do you know that? Because one or two things gonna happen on a consistent basis. Kevin Durant said this himself. We pulling Shaq out that paint and we gonna quote test them hips
Mm-hmm.
because we finna put you in this ball screen
Mm-hmm.
and you either back then, like we said, they pat line defense. Back then, you either finna drop and let your guard try to fight over the under whatever they do, or you finna try to hard hedge. That's what they did. And he spoke on this himself, said hedge or whatever, make him touch him up, not don't let him get that easy. So Shaq, do you really believe you finna come all the way out here on this ball screen and hard hedge Stephen Curry? Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna step out above that ball screen, and Steph gonna drag you out. Make sure you can't just go back to your man.
Mm-hmm.
And now you finna be in rotation because
Mm-hmm.
now your team's scrambling because Kevon Looney dive into that rim. You got
Mm-hmm.
Clay on one side, you got KD
Mm-hmm.
on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So who rotating? That's what I'm finna say. Who gonna stop him from trying to dime at the Kevon Looney?
Yep.
And who you gonna rotate back to the guard? So then let me tell you what ends up happening. Because I'm a big now. I've been playing the five all my life. And granted, I ain't in the NBA. Never gonna act like I know what it's like to play in the NBA. But I play basketball. I know what it's like to be in a ball screen. And so when you hard hedge somebody, the point is to push them out away from the basket, make them go the opposite direction, like they don't let them get downhill, basically, and then get
Yeah.
back to your man. So when you do that, somebody who is on the backside is supposed to like kind of tag your man, make sure he don't just get a wide open pass to him and then go back to
Mm-hmm.
theirs.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA today, as spaced out as that flow is, I just want to know if the guy guarding Klay Thompson gonna try to tag for Shaq. That's all I want to know. Are you gonna tag Kevin Looney to make off of Klay Thompson because Shaq gonna have to come back?
Yeah.
So y'all just tell me. So Shaq, if you ever see this, I want you to call. Oh man, I'm so sorry. We might have cut this. Call Rip Fox. You gotta call Rick. Call D Fish. Ask him. Ask him. Hey man. So if I'm hard headed still, are you gonna tag Kevon Looney if Klay Thompson in the corner? Call him and ask him and see what he say. Because I guarantee you the answer gonna probably be no.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq, that's Klay Thompson. So I think we're gonna give up the two. And that brings me back around to my point of y'all think we don't play no defense. Y'all think we don't play no defense.
Yep.
Whole time we cannot. There's something you gotta give up. Something you gotta give up. And Fish gonna tell you, Shaq, we gonna give up that too. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming off of Clay. Because if they
Mm-hmm.
somehow rotated around Diamond to Clay, he probably gonna hit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather they hit Kevon for a two for a lay than we give up this tray ball. So I want y'all to think about that scenario. That's one play.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a high ball screen. Y'all got to figure it out. Decide how y'all gonna guard it. That's one play, one possession. I want you to think about that. How will we guard that? And then come back to me and tell me whether or not we play defense or not.
Hey, relax. It's okay. Listen, I understand that your goal is so big that it just feels daunting. It just feels overwhelming. Like you're trying to get to the NBA, you're trying to get to WNBA. You're trying to play D1 college ball. I understand. Sometimes that feels like a lot. But listen, you're not gonna make that jump from now tomorrow to be to the league or be in D1. So let's just slow down and focus on the whole journey. Enjoy where you're at right now, but don't get too comfortable. You have to still keep working. You still have to make some type of progress to still keep growing. All you gotta do is think about this. If the minimum I can do today is get 1% better, you winning. Because there are some people gonna take a step backwards. There are some people that's gonna stop and just be equal. But technically you're not gonna be equal because I'm getting better than you, so it means you fell backwards now. And so you gotta get 1% better. Because it's a slow grind from where you're at now to where you want to get to. You don't have to worry about taking over the world in one day. Just take over step by step, one piece at a time, 1% better. It's a whole journey. Okay. You got this goal that's just hanging over you, weighing you down. But this goal, the end destination, it's not gonna change. So you have to appreciate the journey and taking steps to get there. You're a marathon runner, but the whole marathon is about focusing on that next step. So I need you to go ahead and look at whichever one you want. You can get this one of the other ones. But I need you to get this reminder for you. Get you a hoodie, a t-shirt, whichever one, as a reminder that progress is my only goal. And progress don't mean I'm perfect. Progress don't mean I'm there. Progress means I'm getting better. Because better and better adds up to being the best you that you can be. But the best is not existing because you are going to get better. So get you this peaceful reminder right here to say, hey, all I gotta do is be a little bit better, 1% better, and I'll get to that goal at some point. So remember, it's about the entire journey and not just the end goal. Because progress is the only goal. That's the perfect image of the difference of then and now. Because like you said, that tag man is a crucial piece. Now I remember Chris Paul said this in a little breakdown he did. So here's the high IQ of point guards today. Not just Chris Paul, but point guards today. Because I was thinking about this, and I'm not a high level point guard at all. So pick and roll, like you said, situation. If I'm PG off of pick and roll, right? So the levels of breakdown is of course my man and so say me and you in a pick and roll. So it's my defender, your defender. That's what the first level of what I'm worried about. Next time I'm seeing where's the help at for your man. So like you said, the tag man coming in, I'm seeing where he's at. Oh, he's in. My next option, my next thought is okay, you're eliminated now. Can I go score or do I keep to where the tag was? So Chris Paul said that he's not even worried about his defender or my big defender. I'm worried about the help now. And I'm worried about his rotating. So depending on who the rotators are, who is in the corner where the next shooter is, that's my next thought process. And I was like, bro, you thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead. I'm just thinking 2, maybe 3 if I'm lucky. So now think about how almost every point guard, every ball handler, because like LeBron's not a point guard, quote unquote, he's a ball handler. So now you have probably 2 or 3 guys on every roster thinking at that level now. So now tag guy has to make 3, 4 decisions. So now he comes tagging, he's scrambling, he's going here, he's going here. That's impossible to guard every game for every minute, bro. All the scrambling we doing, there's no way it's going to work out for a full game. That's impossible. I don't care what defense you're talking about. I don't care if you have a first 5 all defense on your starting 5. That's impossible to guard for a full game. That's impossible. You can rotate all you want to. You can switch all you want to. At some point, it's going to break down. At some point, we got to say it all the time. That's great defense right there. Better offense. Not good defense. Great defense. Nothing else you could have done. That's better offense. Because at the end of the day, all Steph needs is this much space. Clay needs this much space, and Katie don't matter because he's 7 foot. So what? What a point? At what point are you going to collapse? Because it's not if, it's when. Because at some point, Clay's going off with 13 threes in a quarter, or I mean for a game. Steph going off with 10 threes in that game. Katie going off with 20 in that quarter. So it just wins that waterfall gonna happen. Like that watershed moment where they just three, might bring bang, bang, bang. It's when it's gonna happen. Because there's no way you're gonna scramble, rotate, and all that stuff. That's not gonna happen because no team has the level of defense. If you put the first team all defense, all NBA defense against that Warriors team, they're still losing. It's just not happening. Even if you score, if you score the system off, if the offense scores or gets a good enough shot for them where they can make it, that still counts as a point. Or the defense gets a legitimate stop. If you scored it just like that, the Warriors will still win because that's how tough it is to guard in today's game. But we don't play defense.
Oh, we gonna play defense.
There's no defense being played. Come on, bro. It's different basketball right now, man. So I
Man,
love that pitch that you gave though, man. That was a perfect one because
man. You need to throw me on NBA on TNT, dog. Promise you I'm gonna get up there and talk my stuff. Like Shaq. I just want you to tell me how y'all would guard this scenario. Because number one, if you drop, still pulling that three up the screen ASAP.
mm-hmm,
Not even want to think about it. If you're
mm-hmm,
hard head, somebody got to tag Looney. Is it gonna be the man guarding Clay or the man guarding KD? You tell
mm-hmm,
me. You tell me. Which one I'm gonna do it? And then now you scrambling to get back. Guess what? We swinging it. Swing, swing. That 3-point line extended. That's a long way to go, big fella.
yep,
Long way to go. Swing, swing. No, they moving the ball too. Like that's all you gonna see until they touch Clay hand in the corner and Shaq the last man in rotation. Might as well stay
mm-hmm,
in that paint. They going
yep,
in. You just stand next to the rim and hope he miss. Cause he ain't gonna get out there. You running out there ain't gonna stop nothing. No way. This jump going up.
yeah.
Lord.
So the
So
only counter that they could possibly have is, oh, we'll go off of Draymond's man. Okay, let's say Draymond and Iggy are out there. Guess what? That's arguably still one of the best lineups. You know why? Them boys know they can't shoot, but guess what? I know how to get my shooters open,
mhm.
which means 10 times more than whatever you think you finna happen. Whatever your idea was, is what this is what the counter's going to be. Them dudes IQ says, I already know that. I have a whole playbook in my mind just for the situation that you're thinking about. So Clay's getting this shot one way or another, bro. Whichever way you want to happen, I'm gonna let you decide. We just make sure it happens.
Trying to tell
Iggy and
you.
Draymond are locking all that down. Whatever thought you just thought you had, I don't care. Clay getting this shot off. Okay, he getting that shot off. Or he getting that shot off. And like we were kind of talking about at one point, is that they do it off of inbounds. They do it almost anytime, bro. So Steph catches the ball. Let's say top right wing. High, you know how he play. He's far out. Throw the ball to Draymond. Plays typically a DHO, a handoff. So throw it into him. Here you go, man. Do your thing. Come off and get it. It's a fake. So let's say for whatever instance, Shaq is guarding Draymond right there. No, matter of fact, let's go to the roster. So
Horace Grant
uh
or Rick Fox or Shaq.
so you got Shaq, maybe Mark Madsen. Let's say they're going to be deep into the bench. Robert Ory, Horace Grant, Rick Fox. Let's just say one of them are guarding Draymond for that instance. So usually it's Draymond running that. Iggy runs it sometimes. Um, David West used to run it sometimes off of that roster. And Looney. Nah, Looney be the guy receiving it. Am I on the right team? Yeah, I'm on the right team. Looney be the one receiving it. So to be Iggy and Draymond, usually at that point of receiving that pass. Jordan Bell picked it up sometime. That was rookie Draymond. So rookie Jordan Bell, so he wasn't running that much. So
Mm.
Iggy and Draymond are at that spot 9 times out of 10. So the thought is like, Shaq probably chilling because it's a little DHO, a little handoff. I'm gonna just see what Steph's gonna do. Drop coverage. So guess what? You don't know what's gonna happen because natural basketball instinct says little handoff and we gone. I remember seeing that junk when Celtics and Warriors finals. I saw it coming because we watched the Warriors the past 25 freaking years run the same freaking play with freaking Draymond and Steph. I'm freaking mad at Al Horford every time he did that junk. It pissed me off when we lost that game. But um, every single time, I remember at one point the inbound happened. I was like, he finna slip it. He's not finna hand it off. He's just finna slip and go. Guess what happened? Do it to him. Boom, slipped it, finish. So how are you guarding that, Shaq? Who are you putting where, and how are you gonna guard that? Because guess what? If he does hand it off, you're tracing off Steph Curry 2 feet behind 3-point line. You're not guarding that. He slips it. Oh, we're gonna have him step up. They had that in case. Guess who's back there? Kevon Looney, Iguodala, Sean Livingston, back there for the lob. Jordan Bell back there for the lob. How are you guarding that one? Oh, you okay? You took that option out. Guess what? He had to help him rotate. We have Clay over there in the corner or KD over there in the other corner. How are you guarding that too? So you're not finna guard all these options. That's what I'm saying now. So defense not being played is because so many more options are available. Back in the day, Jordan and Pitt were our only for real concerns. You had a shooter. It was Kobe and Shaq, and you had Rick Fox and as an occasional shooter, Fish as an occasional shooter, or as an occasional shooter. Because you're not playing all three of those guys with Kobe and Shaq. If you did, we only really worried about one of them for real, for real. So how are you stopping all that, bro? Please explain. Somebody, anybody, explain to me how you gonna stop that option. That's two plays. That's pick and roll and a DHO. We didn't get to a playbook. We ain't talking about a playbook. That's just freelance open plays. That's basic basketball. Please explain to me how it's getting locked up.
And when you think about it, I want you to come back to me and tell me about how we don't play no defense. I just want to know if we still don't play no defense. How Shannon Sharp be doing them Cowboys? I just want to know, are y'all still them boys? Are y'all still the guys that play defense? That's all I want to know. Y'all still them boys. But I ain't really got nothing else to say, bro. I mean, if you want to throw something else in there, it's on you.
Do you think we ruffled enough feathers with this one? You think that was a little spicy enough right there?
I mean, I don't know. I think our demographic is a little close to our age, so maybe they probably sitting there like, yeah, like they probably. But we gonna put it out though. We gonna see because somebody gonna see it and be like, somebody gonna be upset. Twitter, TikTok, somebody gonna be upset, and they probably gonna be twice our age. Whatever. I'm not tripping about it. I'm ready to argue about this one because because all I'm gonna do is clip out that last part about the DHO and the ball screen, and I want you to tell me how they were going. And I'm going to say this out loud so y'all know not to do it. If anybody jump in these comments and say anything about they could just switch it, I'm just going to, hey, I'm not arguing with you, bro. You don't know basketball.
Oh, just switch it. That's all you got to do, just switch it.
Really? You think it's that simple?
Why aren't you in the NBA then? Why aren't you winning championships now?
You ought to be a coach, bro. You got all the answers. This ain't 2K, man. Them boys ain't guarding like that, man. If Shaq switch on Steph Curry, Lord bless him. You ever seen that clip of Rudy Gobert switched on Steph? That's what happened when they just switch it. That's what happens. When guys like Shaq get switched off to guys like Steph Curry, they back up and they say, y'all watch out.
Yep.
What Kobe say?
Woo! Fish. Woo! Hey, Lamar. Woo!
Flat.
That's it. I mean, hey, give me the ball, get the hell out the way. That's what that means.
Come on, man. I got a mismatch. How you be talking about barbecue chicken on that block, you barbecue chicken on this wing. And we finna cook. Cook session. I'm trying to tell you what. So yeah, I'm gonna go and say that out loud so y'all know not to say that nonsense to me. Because if anybody in here talking about they can just switch it, I'm gonna just go on reply back and say, I'm not finna argue. You got it.
Hey, I'm gonna coach of the year right here.
Coach of the year right here.
Coach of the year.
This guy gets it. They ought to call you Doc Rivers.
You there, bro? You there? Hey, the Mount Rushmore, Dylan. Who your top 5 rappers? Dylan. So whoever comments that, you are the Mount Rushmore of coaching, because genius idea. Like what a genius, like astronomical.
Why didn't we think of that?
Boy, genius. Boy wondered. What a
Brain blast.
What? Brain blast.
Brain blast.
Got a blast. Like, come on, man. Like,
Oh, so
bro, we just
yeah.
doing two references that most people probably ain't even catching, bro. That's two different generations.
Y'all don't let me be that old that y'all ain't get that, please.
Like I
Please
said,
don't
most of
let
them
me.
about our age. So I feel like they got both of them. I hope
Yeah,
they did.
I hope
I
they
hope
did
so.
too. Because if y'all ain't get the brain blast, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna feel old.
I will feel old. If y'all don't get the dialogue one, I ain't gonna feel old because that was a little before our
That was a little
generation.
before us, yeah.
A little bit. So you just too young. So that's
Be disappointed
but
for a different reason.
yeah, you just not cultured. That's okay. That's a
That's the
different
one.
issue. So
That's the
but
one.
yeah, man. But I had something I want to get back to. Oh yeah. So going back to like the KD's Warriors versus Shaq Warriors, right? And so just breaking through like the game plan of how they think that they could win that matchup because we don't play defense in this era. Okay, cool. So let's break it down, totality, not just in that moment. So if I'm the Warriors, my game plan is when I'm on defense, Shaq, do your thing, bro. You averaging 50 this series. Go ahead. Do your thing. Please. Cool. If Shaq ends this game with 50 points and 20 rebounds and 4 blocks on paper, oh man, Shaq finals MVP. Shaq is unstoppable. Go. You know how social media is these days. And if I'm Steve Kerr, we're doing our job. You know why? Kobe's unhappy because he's not getting his touches and points. Fish ain't happy because he ain't finna get his 5 threes off. Them 5 threes went down to 1 or 2 a game. Same thing for Ori. Same thing for Fox. So them two makes you might have had 2 out of 5. That's a great. I think that's crazy too. Back in the day, 2 out of 5 for three was a great game for a shooter.
That was a
Do
good
that
game.
today. Do that today, bro. That's first half, bro. What you doing? You slipping. But that's a whole nother conversation. But so those 5 attempts are cutting down to 3 max because Shaq getting all the touches. So Shaq, do your thing. I'm gonna let Looney guard you. Then I'm gonna sub him out. Damon Jones, you finna get your minutes in. Finna get your fouls in. Jordan Bell, David West, JaVale McGee, Zaza. All y'all finna use every ounce of strength you have because I'm gonna let you idle on Shaq. That's hey, Shaq, you better get yours in because that's all you finna do. Now, if that ends up being the game plan, the Lakers go with that, we are going to win. Because guess what? At some point, we're going to go back on the other end of the floor too. We're on offense now. So guess what? Steph Curry 3, Shaq's 2. Klay Thompson's 3, Shaq's 2. KD's 3, Shaq's 2. Them threes add up pretty quickly, brother. So 5 possessions, Shaq's 2s is 10 points. 5 possessions for me are 5 threes, that's 15. You can keep playing that game out over 4 quarters, it's going to add up pretty quickly to a blowout. 5 point lead. If you win every quarter by 5 points,
You
5,
won by 20.
10, 15, 20 point blowout. All I gotta do is win by 5 each quarter. That's a blowout. And we can match attempts and makes of the total field goals because my three is going to add up more than your twos. That leads to us blowing out by 20 by the end of the game. Now, granted, the next comment will be from the coach here we talked about earlier. The coach here is going to say, well, first off, you're not going to show like that this whole series or the whole game. Perfectly fine with that. But guess what? Not only do I have Steph, I have Clay, and I have KD. There's no way all three of them are missing for full game or for a full series. That's not going to happen. That's GOAT level shooting. That's not going to happen. So let's say for whatever miracle reason they are missing, you don't think that's smart of basketball players to get off twos? You don't think it's smarter to just run a little bit more to get some more shots up? Draymond and Iggy's IQ is stupid high, so they're gonna figure something out to where we're gonna play. And guess what? If our twos can't match Shaq's twos, guess what, Shaq? You got to guard down here too, brother. So there's no way you're gonna put up 50 for 7 games and guard more than you have in your entire life, your entire career put together, and feel like you're gonna just come out victorious. Mm-mm. So just coach of the year, whoever you are, please comment on that how that's gonna work out for you. What's your strategy for that one, man? So Help me out.
Hey man, y'all already cooked, bro. It's already chalked, bro. No, I'm sorry. I think it's gonna be a series though. I ain't gonna
Oh
tell.
yeah, yeah,
I ain't trying to make it seem like they would have swept them, but Warriors in six.
yeah, yeah. Like,
Y'all gonna win some off the strength of Shaq, and then Kobe gonna contribute here and there. You know what I'm saying? He gonna do his thing. Y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get some games,
oh
but
yeah.
I know in the middle of them six, it's gonna be a 20 piece in there because
Oh
the
yeah.
Warriors had that third quarter where it's just raining threes, and y'all, hey, I'm pretty sure many coaches have had the same thought of the shooting ain't gonna happen all night, or they ain't gonna make these
Mm-hmm.
shots every game. And then that
Mm-hmm.
third quarter came, and it was like,
Mike Breen, bang, 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 bang.
the biggest
Timeout,
lead in
timeout,
the
timeout. Next thing you know, y'all ready to come back out there do it again? All right, bang, bang, bang. Well, guess what? We'll let you off this one time. Draymond DHO, slip it, lob, boom. Another
league.
timeout. God.
God,
So
dang, we down 20. It was just a 5 point game. I'm
I
telling
didn't
you,
even think
boy.
about that part, bro. Like you think about it, like I said, you win by 5 each quarter, so you up. Of course they're gonna weather the storm because they're championship warriors. I mean, championship Lakers, 3 piece. They're a great team, obviously. But that third quarter is the real test of time of how that game's going to be. Because I don't think the Warriors have ever shot out that 20-point lead and just lost it. I don't think that's ever happened. Like that's too demoralizing, bro. But
Hard to come
that
back
third,
if you can make a three consistently.
oh
You
yeah,
the one that make the comebacks.
yeah. So Shaq, you going off of 50, please. Kobe, I don't think I'm gonna get a 30 that game. I don't think you will. You're not enough of
Y'all
an
gonna be
average
giving
there.
it to him.
You can't, bro. It's hard to. And I get what you're going. I know the strategy. Well, Kobe gonna get his, mixed in. Well, okay. Let's say Kobe does get 30. That's 80 points. The Warriors, how much were the Warriors putting up back then, man?
113.
Okay, 80 right there to 113. Where the other 40 points coming from?
Please tell me.
Who's getting up another 40 points off of that team? Fish ain't giving you 20, 10, not like that.
Fish, Fox, and Horace Grant probably getting you like 20 all three, maybe. So now you talking
Maybe.
about 90.
So you just lost by 13 points. Congratulations. So that ain't happening, man. So no shade to any of these guys. I love Kobe. T. Lou, you respect you doing your thing as a coach right now, man. B. Shaw, respect to you. Um, Ron Hopper, you did your thing, man. Devin George, you was a young pup. You weren't doing too much at the time, but y'all ain't making up no 113, man. Y'all not. Back in the day, the pace was too slow. Even if they sped up the pace, y'all don't have the dogs for that, man. So
Oh,
it's
y'all, and we need to talk about how y'all gonna be tired chasing Steph and Clay, and Shaq gonna be tired chasing over these screens and trying to help y'all. Yeah, we ain't talk about that, but that I think we got our point across.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's done, man. So um we said all of this to say that in 2023, we're not playing defense. That's the moral of the story.
And just
We,
jacking
we
up.
for some kind of way, man, basketball's gotten worse since the 1990s. Some kind of way, basketball just went downhill. We're not playing defense. I don't know how, but it's just 30 years of crap, man. That's what it's been. After
I guess.
98, it's just been downhill, bro. So sad to see. Don't know why it's just 30 years of crap, bro. But somehow it's just David Stern, Adam Silver ain't been doing their job, man. It's just 30 years of BS just chalked up, bro. I don't get it.
Guess they just paying these guys for nothing.
I don't know how. I don't. Well, all this extra money they getting, they got the cap space too. So hey, it's extra money coming from somewhere that just magically appearing because people are paying for this 30 years of garbage
Man,
and
who knows why they keep doing that?
no defense being played, obviously. So
Who
everybody's
wants to see that?
enjoying no defense. So that's what they're paying for, obviously. And so they're spending more money to watch lesser talented stuff, and they keep paying and doing it again for 30 years. Makes sense. Makes
Makes
sense. Yeah.
sense.
So
But all right, man, we finna get on out of here. So, man, oh my goodness, this boy, I have enjoyed this episode. So it's gonna be a
this was
good
a
one.
fun
Hope
one.
y'all, yeah, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it too. Some of y'all probably didn't, but that's okay. But yeah, man, that does it for another episode of B-Ball Jones podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe, man. Drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you think we tripping. Let us know if you think, if you agree with us. And let us know what y'all think the Lakers would do in those 2 plays we gave y'all. So but also remember, you better not say they just gonna switch it. Just want y'all to hold on to that. Follow Brian on all social medias, man. At BeBall Jones. That's BE Ball Jones on all social media platforms. You can follow me at NellyH34 on Twitter, at Nelson.Haskins on IG, and you can find me at my name on Facebook. We would love to keep the conversation going on over there.
Please.
Yeah, man. We ready for it, so y'all just let us know. But yeah, man, be sure to follow the podcast on TikTok. Got all our little excerpts and Clubhouse over there at B-Ball Jones Podcast. Y'all can follow us over there and check out what we already got up. And yeah, man, that does it. So be sure to like and subscribe once again. We appreciate y'all for listening. Be sure to check us out next week for another great episode. But without further ado, man, we out.